proving method. That's why we will delay the proving method for next lab. If he start, I will give you a tutorial on Wednesday. If not, I will check that on a Tuesday. So there will be no lab on Wednesday. So check the channel. If there is a scheduled meeting, we will have lab. Today, I will focus on homework number 2. Many students ask about homework number 2. It is very, very, very simple one. Okay, let me share with you the document of the homework. Where is it? Yes, I think it's here. Homework number 2. This is the question for homework number 2. If you look over the question number 1, okay, if you look over question number 1, which said determine whether the following argument is valid. So they did not say that this is a valid argument. Determine whether. Maybe it is valid or invalid. So the most proper way to solve such question is to draw the whole truth table. But actually, I will not waste my time even to draw the whole truth table. Why? Because I can test or I can check if it is invalid by a simple trying technique of an invalid case. I will put the Q to be false here, and I will try to find what is the value of P and R that make the hypothesis, the above one, true. If you find معناتها it is invalid, and just give me the truth value and that's it. If you cannot find the value of P and R that make the hypothesis true, معناتها it's look like it is a valid argument, so you have to use the inference rules. ما تبون تسوون هاي التكنيك, just to draw the whole truth table. Calculate hypothesis 1, calculate hypothesis 2, calculate hypothesis 3. Then look over only the true hypothesis. Try to find what is the value of Q. If you find one of them false, معناته this is the counter example. Okay? Then let's go for question. Do you have something regarding question number 1? Anything regarding question number 1? I think it's a very simple one. Let me check here. I think question number 1 is very simple. I will not say it is valid or invalid, but remember, if it is valid, you have to use the inference rules or to draw the whole truth table. Both are correct. If it is invalid, just give me the value of a Q, R, and B that make the conclusion false and the hypothesis true, and that's it. About question number 2. Here, question number 2, what does it say? It say let Txy be a predicate that X is taller than Y. Write the following in English and prove their truth values. If you go through them, you will find them. They are very simple. There is no adjective. Actually, you have only the connector predicate. So to write it in English first, if I want to write the English, let me use the paint here. And I will not solve it on this predicate. I will give you another predicate because I don't want to solve the exercise itself. But I will give you something similar. I will say if xy denote that X is, instead of taller, I will say it's thinner, okay, than Y. Then I give you for all X, for all Y, if xy. How to write the solution for this one? The connector, as I said at the beginning, that the connector should be in the middle of the sentence. So here is thinner than, it will be in the middle. In the middle of the sentence. Now, who is thinner than? X is thinner than y. What is x? X is a variable that comes with a quantifier for all. يعني all the elements in the domain are thinner than. What is my domain? Domain all people. So here I will say all people are thinner than. What is y? Y again come with universal quantifier. You can say all people. Do I have to use all people only? لا ممكن استخدم another keyword. أقول له everyone is thinner than everyone. So whenever you have a statement with the connector predicate, put the connector predicate in the middle of the statement, then try to describe x, the first quantifier. Sometime it will come with a quantifier. Sometime it will be a constant value. Sometime, okay? So you have to write exactly what is x. Look over x. X is a universal quantifier. So I use all or every. It's up to you. Is there any adjective to x? No, because there is no premise. So I will say all people, everyone. It's up to you which keyword you are going to use. So for all x, for all y mean, oh, everyone is thinner than everyone. Okay, now, is this a true statement or false? If you want to decide the truth value, did they give you a limited domain or it's infinity? In the question here, all people in the world. So can I test them, everyone? It will be difficult. But if you want to test and to give the truth value, you should understand the statement. Now, our statement said everyone is thinner than everyone. يعني هل كل واحد أضعف من الثاني؟ For sure, not. Because the people in the world can be classified in these categories. There is someone is the thinnest person. أضعف واحد. There is someone, let me say, the fattest person. And there is people in between. ما تشوفون في موسوعات جينيس في واحد أضعف شيء واحد أطول مثلا واحد أطول شيء واحد أقصر شيء in Guinness record. Okay, so there is someone thinnest, there is someone fattest, and there is many people in between. So can I say that everyone in the world is thinner than everyone in the world? What does it mean, everyone in the world? معناته I will list all people in the world here and there, and I will compare. Ali is thinner than Ahmed. Ali is thinner than Jasim. Ali is thinner than everyone. Even I will compare him with himself already. Okay, but you will find that what about the fattest person in the world? Is he thinner than anyone in the world? No. So there is someone is not thinner than other people. So in this case, it will be what? False. And because it is start with a universal quantifier, you have to give counterexample. There are many counterexamples, but never give me counterexample people, specific people, Ahmed or Ali, no, because I don't know them. So you can think about the opposite, the fattest case. You can think about, if I'm assuming that X is thinner than Y, for sure is Y is not thinner than X. Will be also a counterexample. So you have to write the English statement. Then you have to give me if it's true or false, and you can explain, especially for the universal. You will find that the negation with the opposite. يعني عندكم هني taller, فالopposite بتكون في shorter, the shortest person. Now, look about the second one. for all their exit يعني everyone with someone. Now everyone is taller than someone. Everyone is taller than someone. Usually yes, but what about the shortest person? Is he taller than someone? He's the shortest. Okay, you have to think about it in this way. Logically, you will think about it. There is no specific values you have to check because the data is said all people in the world. They did not go through them. They did not list for you specific elements in the domain. The third one, they said someone is taller than everyone. Now I'm answering the homework. Okay, so someone, can you find someone who is taller than everyone or not? If you can find, just give me who is that one. Does he exist? If he exists, this is true. If he does not exist, معناته not. There exist. You have to give me specific values. دور لي أي اثنين بشرط إن الأول أطول من الثاني. Does it exist? لا حد يقول لي علي وفاطمة for example. I don't know who's Ali and who's Fatima. So give me someone famous. روح جيبوا لي واحد طويل وواحد قصير. مشهورين, famous people. If you find in this word, معناته it's true. If you did not find, معناته it is false. But for this one, exist, better to give me specific values for famous people in the world. لا تعطوني أشخاص أنا ما أعرفهم. Okay? But you have to give famous people in the world. اختار لكم أي شخصيات معروفة. شخص أطول من شخص معروفين إنهم أطول. حطوا أسمائهم and that's it. Okay? To say it's true. Let me see. Do you have any more questions? Is it okay to say that all people are thinner than other people? It's better to use all more than other people. By the way, do not compare him with itself. Think about the problem as a big problem. يعني مو لازم تقارنونه هو مع نفسه. Okay, other people, but better in exam to use words that show الuniversal quantifier all أو every. يعني تقدر تقول all other people. It's okay. But do not miss the all keyword. أعتقد صار سهل الأسايمنت الحين. يعني you can do it and you can solve it now within 10 minutes and it's fine. Think about it as simple as that. And I find that many students ask about the nested quantifier, some problems. طبعا your homework is very simple. There is no adjective technique. Just put the connector in the middle and represent the quantifier on other sides. And that's it. The problem may be with your judgment to give truth values for this statement. So you have to think about it in a logical way. Taller, معناته there is a tallest person and there is a shortest person. Then you can think about it in that way. I go through, if you want, I can solve with you extra exercises from previous exam. I prepare small ones if you want. If not, will be only for today. Do you want me to solve with you exercises? Okay. Actually, I take a very old test. أعتقد 2017, something like that. Okay. Just to get the idea. This is a question that said, let txy معناته x programs with y. So we have here two domains. X domain of all academic in the university, and Y is about the programming languages. Okay, so we have two domains. The first variable belong to the academic people, academic staff, and the Y belong to the programming languages. So we have some predicate here to describe the academic people and some predicate to describe languages. BX mean X is scientist, QX mean X is a programmer. These are two adjectives for the academic people. Either they are scientists, sorry, or programmer. And the Y here mean that these two predicates will be used to describe languages. يا عندنا object oriented languages أو عندنا functional languages. Okay, so here I want to write the English for the following. I didn't يعني write the question. These are questions from exams. Okay, now if I go through it and I want to write the English for all X, for all Y, Q, X, and WY, you will see that there is no connector here. So there is nothing will be written in the middle. Okay, how to express it in English? Think about it, because there is no connector now. In the symbolic form, I will write it as this: all QX and all WY, and that's it. So it will be like this: all. What is X we said? X إذا بتلاحظوا موجودة في QX. QX is a predicate related to the academic. فit will be all academic. All academic are QX. QX معناتها programmer. I finish from the first part. والand أحطها and واجي أعبر عن WY. Y is related to the languages, فأقول له all languages. لأن الدومين of Y is languages. شلون أعرف إن هي languages؟ لأن I use ال Y for WY, and WY is a predicate to describe languages, and all languages are functional. مو دائما بيعطينا الستيتمنت فيها connector. إذا ما فيها connector, it's like I'm talking about two quantifiers, two different ones, and there is an and operator or it's depend. Okay, so I will put all academic are programmer and all languages are functional. Is that clear? How I do the conversion? Okay. Now let's go for, please, if you feel it's little, there is something ambiguous, unmute yourself and ask. Okay, I will assume that everything is fine. If you are not, let me check the chat. Okay. Now let's go for the second page, page number 2. Do not save. Okay. The same predicate, write the symbolic for all scientists do not program with some object-oriented languages. Now they want from me to write the symbolic. First, I have to underline L quantifier. This is the first step. All some. So I will put for all X, there exists Y. You can use any other variables, but the order of these variables are very important when you are substituting. Now, if I go here, now they use the connector in the middle. Do not program. This is the connector. do not program, because it said here TXY programs with. So they do not program with. If you look over the first quantifier all, there is a word here. Our domain is academic, but they write scientist. They are using BX as an adjective. They did not say scientific academic, but it's يعني readable that they mean the academic people. So here they said all scientists. So this is an adjective now. So should be in a premise side. Why in a premise side? Because it's come with all. لازم تكون الادجective في premise side. So I will represent the scientist here in a premise side. So I will put BX. The second quantifier is some. So anything, if there is adjective, it will not be here. So I finish from my premise side. لأن الستايل يقول for all there exist الadjective of X بيكون في premise side الadjective of Y بتكون في conclusion and with the connector. So I finish from the premise now. I will go here. I have to put the adjective of Y in addition to the connector. The connector said do not program يعني not T X Y and الadjective of Y. What is the adjective of Y? Some OO languages يعني some operating object oriented languages فأعبر عنها بال SY. It's very important إذا أنتم تحولون إلى السامبلك لما يكون السم هو السكند quantifier تكون الادجكتيف مالته connected and in the conclusion side not in the premise side. The order of the quantifier is very important. لما أقول all scientific do not program with some operating object-oriented languages معناته I have to check every scientific لازم يكون عنده language واحدة not يعني object-oriented وهو ما يبرمج فيها do not program with it okay عشان أقول له this statement is true. Here we are not looking for the truth value by the way okay just to convert from English to symbolic to English. Do you have any questions regarding this part? I hope not. Now, let's go and see page number 3. With the same predicates, write the negation. So here in the question, they want the negation in English. So this is the statement. They want from you to represent the negation of it. هو مو لازم احط الاقواس بس اني حاطتنها عشان ابين لكم the whole statement should be negated. They don't want from you to express the statement itself. Read the question carefully. They want the negation in English. And they give me here starting with all academic. If they want from me to start with all, I know that I have to distribute this negation. If they said just write the negation in English and stop, you have the choice either to distribute أو تستخدمون no. لأن not there exist معناتها there is no أو استخدم الكيورد no مثل ما قلنا. فالحين اللي هني عندي يبيني all معناته I have to distribute. How to distribute? As I said before, the first step you have to change the quantifiers. there exist x there exist y بتصير for all x for all x for all y. This is the first step. Second step, the negation of the statement itself. لا تنسون هذه النقطة. فبتصير عندي هنا wy negation مالت not W بتصير W والand بتصير oring not TX بتصير TX Y. And now I can start with the keyword all. Now look here, they said academic, which is my domain. معناتها there is no adjective for X. And this is really what you have here. There is no predicate related to X expected TY. بس حتى لو كان عندي predicate for ال X, they don't want from me to use the adjective technique لأنه حدد لي all academic. Okay, so here my statement will be all academic okay, all academics ال X is the first one معناتها program sorry على ال bad handwriting program with Y. Y is coming with again universal quantifier. Okay, so can I use this as an adjective technique? Can I use WY as an adjective؟ يعني أقدر أقول له all functional languages? No, I cannot. ليش؟ لأنها or مو implies. So to use it as an adjective WY استخدمها adjective لازم تكون في implies. So I will assume that this is a negation of a premise or in conclusion. فبحولها إلى implies بحط TXY هني مثل ما هي بجيب النيجيشن مالتها not WY. Now I can use this as an adjective. فبقول له all academic program with all non-functional languages. ليش non؟ لأن فيها negation. Okay? Non-functional languages. So هاي السؤال أغلب اللي راح يسوي الخطأ فيه يا إنه بينسى يكتب النيجيشن وبيحاول يحل السؤال بدون negation because they do not read that they want the negation of the statement. Some of them, when they distribute the negation, they do the distribution over the quantifier and they forget to put it here also. This is another mistake. Then, if you do the distribution correctly, many students, they use it WY as an adjective for the second quantifier, but it is not in an implies form, it is in an or form. So this is the most common mistake you have to avoid while you are solving. Let's go now for the second slides. With the same question, huh? We do not go for another predicates. All scientists and programmers program with some object oriented يعني يقصدون منها ال OO. Okay, object oriented object and non-functional languages. All some. The first thing we have to determine the quantifier. فبحطهم for all X there exist Y. خلاص من أحدد الquantifier I know that the adjectives related to all should be in a premise side. The adjectives of Y should be and here في conclusion. This is the overall style of the question. Okay? Now, scientist and programmer, these are two adjectives related to X. Scientist يعني PX and أحطها programmers QX. So I determine the premise side. I finish from this part. What is the adjective of Y? الادجكتيف of y بتصير connected and مع الكونكتر. فبروجرام with نفسها راح احطها txy هني، مو لازم هني، عادي احطها هني. The order is not important. Okay. Oriented object and non-functional. Oriented object معناتها sy، فأحط sy هني. And non-functional يعني not wy. And that's it. As simple as that. So you have to determine first the order for quantifier، وهو اللي راح يحدد لكم which style you should follow. مجرد يقول لي هني all بدل كلمة some، أعرف إن هذه وهذه كلهم لازم يصيرون في premise. اوكي، فالorder of the quantifier تحددونه في البداية. This is will help you a lot in which rule you should follow, the first, the second, third or fourth. مجرد يقول لي هني some معناته أصلا ما في implies، كلهم and all together. So you should read the question carefully and determine the quantifier first. The order is important. Now, no academic do not program with all functional languages. No academic. كلمة no academic معناتها there is no. It's not exist. فوش بيصير؟ No all. على طول أحط not there exist x all y. ونفس القاعدة اللي نتبعها في there exist لما تبدي أول شلون والfor all as a second quantifier. بس كلمة no عطتني إن not exist، يعني هاي كلمة no عبرت عنها not there exist. ممكن تفكرون فيها بطريقة distribution. If you can do it, yes, do it. But I think this is much easier if you represent not there exist for all y. لأن هني في الإنجليش استخدم الادجكتيف تكنيك، فهو مستخدم الرولز without distributing. Okay. Now هني academic is the domain itself. So there is no adjective. لكن لو قال لي no scientist, I have to write bx here and a big parenthesis. But actually they said no academic معناته there is no adjective. فهذا البارت الخاص بالadjective هذا كله يلغي. كله. Okay. So I will remove this all because there is no adjective. بس لو كان في adjective I have to put the adjective and بعدين big parenthesis for the second variable adjective. ما أنسى this big parenthesis. Here there is no adjective. They said academic and academic represent my domain. So there is no adjective. So here I will start with all now. Is there any adjective? Yes, there is adjective. Because there is adjective for the second one, I will put the implies لأنها for all. Functional should be written here and the connector should be written here. Conclusion side. Functional معناته شنو؟ W. So if functional then not لأن do not program not T X Y. That's it. يعني أقول it is not exit that there is academic do not program with all functional languages. Is it clear? نروح حق آخر سؤال في هذا السؤال. There is no quantifier at all. They give me a constant value. Harry is one of the academic people. C++, Prolog are languages. there is no quantifier at all. So if they said Harry program with neither C++ nor Prolog, program معناته T. Harry is the X, is a constant value. Okay? I will put it like this. But program with, I have something here, neither C++ nor Prolog. And I find that many students, they put it here, not C++ and not Prolog. This is incorrect. You cannot do that as a second parameter. Actually, this statement said Harry not program. I think that I have to make it bigger. Okay. The same English statement. Harry do not program with C++ and لأن neither nor يعني don't and don't صح؟ And Harry don't program with Pollock. This English is equivalent to the above English. So do not do that in the second parameter you put the and. Actually, you should separate it in two connectors. Okay, so here I can write the symbolic for this, that T Harry comma C++, and there is not here. يعني Harry do not program with C++, and again he is not programming with Prolog. This is a very simple one, but because the student, they think that they should use the quantifier, they try to substitute the quantifier in a symbolic form. You put the quantifier only if they are mentioned in the question, and you know that they are mentioned or not because they are using all some keywords. Here they did not put all. Instead of all academic, they decide which academic, who is the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about Harry, a person. أكو موجود عندي capital معناته it's a person name. Okay, so Harry is the first parameter لأن الكونكتور موجود program with. The first parameter is not coming with a quantifier. It's come as a constant value. So that means there is no quantifier. I will substitute init T with Harry as a first parameter. The second parameter is لو قال لي بس C++, that's it. T, Harry, and C++. But they put here neither nor. معناته I have to distribute these neither nor into connectors. معناته he is not programming with this and not programming with that. So I have to distribute. Never do it like this as a second parameter. Okay, so I think that I choose a question little bit يعني simple, and it's contain all the possible common mistake done by the student. I hope that everything is clear. Do you have any questions regarding this part? I find also in the same exam this question. Show using logical identities that not P implies Q and P implies Q is a contradiction. What does it mean, contradiction? What does it mean, contradiction? Contradiction عكس tautology. Tautology يعني always true. Contradiction يعني always false. يعني ينبيني باستخدام ال logical identities مو باستخدام ال truth table، ينبيني أثبت إن هذه always false at the end. أول واحدة not B implies Q and B implies Q. أول شيء في السؤال تحددون شنو الطريقة اللي يمكنكم تستخدمونها وشنو يمكنكم تثبتون. لما أحولها إلى ال OR form not B implies Q. The negation of implies statement يكون premise and not conclusion. And here I have OR form not B or Q. ممكن هاي تسوونها خطوتين. You first convert it to OR form, then you have to distribute a negation, or you can do it directly B and not Q. The general rule of negation of implies. Now, one of the common mistake done by the student, do we have to remove the parentheses or not? We have to remove this one only. لأن عندي and. Here I cannot remove because I have O-ring. Okay, so I will remove this one. Why I have to remove? لأن removing it will make it easier for me to go through more steps. So I will remove this. Now, which one I should choose now? I have to use a distribution law, by the way, because I have O-ring and so I have to distribute. So what I will do, I will take these two together. I will use a distribution law. So B will be as it is here, B and the whole parenthesis here. I will distribute not Q, so it will be not Q and not B. ORing with not Q and Q. Not Q and Q, this is always false لأن and Q مع النيجيشن مالتها يعني أكيد واحدة منهم false فالand between them is false. So this is will be false. False ORing anything is the anything. So the end of this will be not Q and not B. وما أنسى إن في برا عندي B and. Then here and here and easily I can remove these parentheses. ليش؟ لأن the same operator. Now you can reorder them. This is B and this is not B. So B and not B, I'm just reordering and not Q. B and not B, this is false. False and not Q is equal false. False معناته it is a contradiction. يمكن طالب ثاني يقول لا, I will say it, I will solve the same problem in another way. I will say let X equal B implies Q. Rewrite not X and X. This is false in one step and that's it. Okay, so you have to think about the problem, but I find that many students in an exam, when they are solving this problem, they ask, what does it mean contradiction? You should know that contradiction is a negation of tautology, معناتها it is always false. You have to show at the end false. Some students, they do not read the question carefully and they said logical identities, معناتها you have to use the rules, never use the truth table. Is that clear? Do you have any more questions? Okay, now try to solve your homework before the end of the day. No, tomorrow also you have another chance because the due is 19, not 18, okay? And I wish that you all solve it correctly. It's very simple one. As I said, on Wednesday, I will check your lecture record. If he did not start with you the proof, there will be no tutorial on Wednesday. If he start, we will take part number 1, inshallah. This is for today, and thank you very much.